Section 11.2 is entitled Reconciling the Bank Statement. So our first question is, what the heck's a bank statement? A bank statement is an itemized record of all of the transactions that are in the depositor's account over the course of a particular given period. In most cases, that's a month. It doesn't have to be a month, but usually it is. So it'll list out a whole bunch of all the transactions, and usually it's sorted out by what they are. So a bank statement needs to start with, what did you start the month with? Or the period. It doesn't have to be a month again. What did you start this period of time with as far as dollars and cents in the account? Then it'll list all of the deposits, all the things that made the balance go up. It also needs to list all the things that made the balance go down. And the things that made the balance go down, there's two possibilities there. Maybe you wrote a check. Maybe there are some kind of other deductions from the account that you may or may not have previously known about. These could have been electronic bill payments that were scheduled or that you made on your own online. These could also be fees that are being assessed at the end of the period. And the bank statement needs to finish with what the balance is in your account at the end of the period covered on this statement. With the bank statement, you will receive some copy, some evidence of the checks that you have written. It's increasingly rare to receive the actual physical checks, the canceled checks. It's more likely that you receive a picture of your check for reasons that we'll talk about in the second half of this section. Canceled check is the actual check. It's the physical check. It's the piece of paper that you wrote out or you typed up or you computer generated coming back to you. Whereas an image check is a picture of it. It's a photo that was taken digitally. And when I say that this is increasingly common, what I really mean is this is almost a guarantee as far as what you would get back from your bank. You might also hear these referred to as substitute checks because the digital image works as a substitute for actually having the physical check in hand. So here's a copy of Roadrunner's bank statement. They just got the statement from the bank, and the first thing that we want to pay attention to is that they are making a statement here that we started the month with no money in the account, and at the end of the month, the account balance is $22,217. And you can see down here we have a listing of a deposit for $25,000, and then a check was written. Another deposit, another check, deposit, check, check. And then there's this service charge at the end. Apparently, American National Bank is charging Roadrunner $8 a month for the privilege of having money in the account at this bank. Uh-oh. Maria Sanchez looks at her check stubs, or she looks at the ledger for cash and bank and sees that she believes that the balance is $21,125. Remember, the bank said $22,217. There's over $1,000 difference here. Is that a problem? Is it less of a problem that the bank thinks that she has more money than she thinks she has? Well, even if the bank thought that she had less money than she believes that she has, it isn't necessarily a problem. There are three common reasons why the bank statement balance and the checkbook balance might be different. The existence of what are called outstanding checks or outstanding deposits, as well as the bank charges. Now, that $8 that I just pointed out a moment ago, that Maria may not have been aware of. In banking terms, the word outstanding just means it hasn't yet been received. It stands out from the transactions that have been fully processed. So logically enough, an outstanding check would be a check that has not made its way back to your bank for payment. Your bank doesn't know yet that this check was issued to somebody. And similarly, an outstanding deposit is a deposit that was made but didn't make it into the record in time to be part of this bank statement. Perhaps the deposit was made the same day that the statement was prepared, but it didn't actually get posted into your account until the next day. Or the statement was for a period ending October the 31st. And you came into the bank on November the 1st to make a deposit, but you didn't get the statement in the mail until, say, November the 3rd. Well, how would the bank be able to time travel to know that you made a deposit between the time that they printed your statement and put it in the mail and when you actually received it? And bank service charges are just fees that the bank charges for various services that are related to having the account. It could be a maintenance of records fee. It could be something related to replacing, printing you a new book of checks. It's just fees that are created for the purpose of compensating the bank for the services that are being provided. And honestly, the depositor isn't always aware of that fee, or isn't always, they should be aware of it, but may not have thought to include it until in their own financial records until they get the bank statement. So what we're doing here is we are reconciling the bank statement. This is the process by which we figure out what the differences are between the balance in the bank statement, what the bank thinks you have, and the balance that you have in your checkbook. The amount that you think you have. And figuring out why there's a difference and trying to get those two numbers to make sense. In other words, to get the two numbers to reconcile. First things first, we're going to take care of that service charge. So go to the checkbook, and on the next check stub, you're going to write less service charge, and you can abbreviate service SVC. You can abbreviate charge as CHG. As long as a reasonable person looking at your records would understand what it means, you can abbreviate as you see fit. And then you would want to include that line in the amount. Include that amount in the line above total, same as if you were adding a deposit onto the check stub, except that we're going in reverse. The balance that Maria has brought forward onto check 107, which she believed a moment ago that she had in her checking account, $21,125, we're going to take that down by $8. And so now the adjusted bank balance is $21,100. The adjusted checkbook balance is $21,117. That's the number we are trying to hit with the rest of our work. This number is our target, $21,117. So now, flip over that bank statement and you are going to see on the back that there is a form that looks very much like the one on your screen. This is the form that we are going to use for the purpose of reconciling the statement. First thing that we do is we arrange the canceled checks in numerical order. We match them up with their stubs. So check stub 101 gets paired with check 101, and 102 works the same way, and we go down the whole list, 103, 104, 105, and 106. And as we go through this, we notice that we can account for 101, we can account for 102, we have a canceled check 103 and a canceled check 104, but we don't have 105 here with the statement, and we don't have 106. These are the outstanding checks. Check 105 for $600 is an outstanding check. Check 106 is an outstanding check for $500. So we look at the directions on the bank reconciliation form, and the first thing that we are told to do is to record the transactions appearing on this statement but not listed in your checkbook. We did that. That was the $8 service charge. List any checks still outstanding in the space provided to the right. There you go. Check 105 for $600, check 106 for $500. We've done that. We might as well add them up. 600 plus 600 plus 500 makes $1,100. We have $1,100 worth of outstanding checks. The rest of the way, we are working with this box in the middle. Our next step is to enter the ending balance as it's shown on the bank statement. This is the $22,217 that American National Bank believes is in the bank account. And so we'll put that in the first of the 5 boxes in the middle, $22,217. Compare the deposits that are listed on the bank statement with those that are in the checkbook. We enter the total of any outstanding deposits and add this figure to what we just did in the previous step. There were no outstanding deposits. And as a result of that, we put a line through, we put a 0.00 here to indicate that there was nothing to include here. And while we're at it, we'll even take our way to line 5 where it says total lines 3 and 4. $22,217 plus 0. I'll get rid of this circle. 22,000 plus 22,217, excuse me, plus 0 is $22,217. You can see what step 6 says. You can guess what's coming next. The 4th box is to list the total of the outstanding checks. We already established Roadrunner has $1,100 worth of outstanding checks. And so that goes in the 4th box. The amount of the outstanding checks, $1,100. And line 7 in the directions, or our step 5, says to subtract the outstanding checks from the total we found in step 3. And we'll do that on paper in a moment, but first the $22,217 that we had from the 3rd box minus the $1,100 that we put in the 4th box makes $21,117. We should now have a match with the checkbook. And we do. Because after we accounted for the $8 service charge, the total in the account was showing in the checkbook as $21,117. We should now have a match. And we do. Congratulations, you have successfully reconciled the bank statement and the checkbook for Roadrunner Delivery Service. And there's just one last question to be asked. What happens if the numbers still don't match? At this point, you stop what you're doing and you figure out why they don't match. That may require you to dig really deep in your financial records through the checkbook, possibly digging into the journal and the ledger. Let's hope not, but it is a possibility. It's very likely that this discrepancy at this point is because you did something wrong. Maybe you didn't add 2 numbers correctly. Maybe you transposed digits, or there was a slide error. Maybe there's an outstanding transaction that you have overlooked in the reconciliation process. You need to find it. When you're done pulling your hair out trying to find it, if you still haven't figured it out, that's when you want to pick up the phone and call the bank. Or drop in and ask them to look into this for you. You need to notify the bank immediately if you believe that they have made an error. You have a very limited window of time for that. So as soon as you say, I can't find this, I've tried my absolute hardest, I don't know what's going on, that's the point at which you make it a priority to contact the bank and tell them that you need help figuring out why the two numbers don't add up. There is a second half to this section on a separate video. Make sure that you watch it.